everybody, this is gonna be a little bit of a different video for my channel. Normally I do like my vlogs and everything and movies, kind of switching gears a little bit and kind of talking about something I don't really know a lot about. This is my good friend Adam. His Twitter handle is Plato800. He has like a ridiculous amount of followers for a non-celebrity person. And this is his rather impressive manga room. I hope I pronounced that right. Manga. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about manga. I used to watch a lot of anime and everything, but not really as into it anymore. So I figured why not get a resident expert for all you lovely manga fans on the interwebs. So yeah. So I'm kind of going to do this as like an interview type thing. Which is kind of weird because me and Adam have known each other for a ridiculous amount of years. But yeah, so we're going to start off with a couple questions. How did you get into collecting manga?
Well, I've been watching anime for my whole life, essentially. Before I even started school, I remember watching Voltron, the original Voltron.
Hells yeah.
It took me a surprisingly long time to actually get into manga from there. It wasn't until I was probably third year of college, and I'd been watching Death Note, and just thought, hey, why don't I read the manga too?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I just picked it up, just randomly picked up volume 1, and
you remember you
never
referencing
stopped.
Talking about how much cheaper it was to buy the manga versus waiting and buying the DVDs and stuff, just sheer price rise and just the same story. A lot of times better story-wise because it's not anything cut out or censored or anything. So.
Almost always I like the manga version better. The only time it ever is better in the anime to me is when it's anime first. If they just make the manga to try to make sales, then it's normally not as good.
Yeah.
Aside from that, it's almost always
it's like a novel version of a movie.
More or less, yeah.
So, how big, volume-wise, do you think your collection is?
They're pretty hard to count, so I count them maybe once a year, once every couple years, and then just try to keep track as I get new ones. And according to that, right now I have 2,056 volumes, and that doesn't count any art books, and I count all omnibuses as one volume. So that gives you an idea at least. So that's probably not exactly right, but that's
I feel like that's low.
Pretty close.
I feel like it's more than that.
It feels a lot more.
Just judging by like this room we're in, and I'm gonna have a lot of shots in here of this room. Yeah, I feel like it's more than that.
I'm probably low more. It's probably more likely I'm low than high.
Yeah, I feel like that too. What are your top 5, if you can pick them, your top 5 favorite volumes or pieces of work that you have in here?
Number 1.
This is, I would say, I got this last year, I guess, and I'm pretty happy with it. It's the Evangelion 2015, which, for those who don't know,
which is me. Hi.
is a lot of people, I'm sure, this is the outside cover of it.
Ooh, is it a yearbook?
It's a art book, and not even for your general public, not even very good, but if you're an Evangelion fan, you pretty well like it. And part of what makes me like it so much is, obviously, Evangelion came out in the 90s, and they supposedly, nobody knows whether this is true or not, but they supposedly only made 2015 copies of this. So, and Evangelion fans are pretty religious about it, so it's pretty hard to find them.
So does that just came out this year? Or
it came out then.
Oh wow, okay. I thought 2015. It made me think it was this year.
It does say 2015, but that's when in the story when all this.
Oh, so this is happening right now in Japan or wherever Evangelion is.
We should have already had the second impact by now. Of course, and I'm sure you'll see throughout looking at stuff, Evangelion's really my go-to thing. I have considerably more stuff related to it than anything else. Yeah. Well, and that and Dragon Ball, I guess. I have a ton of Dragon Ball stuff.
Well, that's my fault. We'll go into that later.
Number 2.
Higurashi is one of my favorite. Higurashi When They Cry is the English version. Higurashi... I can't say it, so I'm just not even going to try. But, and these are some rare things that I got from them. These are just
those are
straight from
Japanese,
Japan.
yeah, those aren't even translated.
Yeah, and they're just extra things. This one's about a live-action movie that they made with it. And it just has character bios, but I can't read anything because it's all in Japanese.
It's got pretty pictures in it.
But it's one of the only... and Evangelion are about the only things I collect additional things too.
Mhm.
Most everything else I just stick to the manga, but
Yeah.
these I like to go off on other things on them.
Number 3.
Lucky Star and Gurren Lagann. They're both pretty hard to find now. Because they're published by Bandai. So if you're ever collecting and you see something published by Bandai, I wouldn't necessarily buy it, but you probably want to research before you left there if it was a reasonable price. Because Bandai stopped printing. They didn't even finish Gurren Lagann. It only has like 6 volumes, I think. And they're all really hard to find, and especially Lucky Star. Lucky Star is popular enough that it's expensive sometimes. They can be, I've seen them, $50 or more for volumes of it. So that's a good one to look out for.
Number 4.
And of course, you have to have Monster. Everybody, Monster's a great
I've
story.
heard of Monster before.
It's really good, and I have the old original volumes. They're really, really hard to find, but they're doing a reprint now of Omnibus. Technically, there's 2 volumes of one, so now's a good time to get them because they're reasonably priced now. Because you can get those. Because these old volumes are really hard to find.
Yeah.
Number 5.
And here's a Kurosagi Corpse delivery service. This is, I really like this series. I just barely read into it, but it's creepy, and it has a good kind of creepy horror to it. And this series can be pretty hard to find too, and especially in good condition. Unlike most of them that have these slick covers,
It's got that textured.
Yeah, the soft kind of cardboardy kind of texture, which makes it really easy to get messed up.
Yeah.
So they're hard to find in really good condition. But one more. Here's Domo.
Top 6.
A Child's Dream.
Number 6.
These are real. I only don't even have them. I only have volume 1 and 3, I think. I just haven't gotten around to getting them. There's hundreds of ones I'm always trying to get, but since I'm not a millionaire, I can only limit myself. But it's a really good story, what I've read of it, and it's really hard to find, and it's only in these.
Yeah.
You can't get them in a normal manga style. They're only.
See, that's something I would never think to pick up. I mean, I might pick it up. We can go ahead and talk about the fact that I do a lot of hunting for Adam because I go to Goodwills and stuff a lot because I'm a video game collector, and I go to Goodwills and stuff all the time in yard sales. So I'm always buying anything that looks like anime for Adam. But yeah, that's something I would never. If I was going through a bin of comics, it wouldn't pop out to me, especially where it's Dark Horse and stuff. I mean, that doesn't scream, collectible to me.
Well, Dark Horse is they still publish manga, but it's in the 90s or so. The only way you could get them were in these kind of comic book style. Even ones that are re-released now, like I know one you can see all the time is Blade of the Immortal. There's lots of times you can find them in the comic book style, which will only have maybe a chapter in each one rather than 4 or 5 chapters, whatever normal manga has. But they can be hard to find. These are quite hard to find.
Yeah.
I mean, not extraordinarily expensive, but hard to find.
Hard to come by. So who would be like, if you had to pick like someone who kind of, and by someone I mean like a writer or an artist or a team, whatever, that kind of got you into their style and you follow them now? Like, is there a specific artist or series or anything like that you?
There's lots of ones that I like, but it's harder. It can be difficult to follow them, especially in manga, because of almost any media, manga has a huge variety in what they can do. So just because I like the guy this time, I very easily will not like him next time. But the most consistently liked one by me are and I'm not even going to try their names, but
we'll flash them on screen. This is the names. Adam's going to text me their names later.
The writer and artist for Death Note, because Death Note is obviously great and obviously one of my favorites.
That's another one of those that I actually know what it is and what it's about. One of those rare 10 or so.
And they both done some of their own stuff, which was pretty good. And then they both did together Bakuman.
So you obviously have a massive collection, but outside of having a friend that hunts things down for you in another part of the state, what what would you do you have any tips or anything for people who would like to get into manga collecting, or people who already are in manga collecting and would like to expand their collection?
One of the places, one of my best places, which it's a store that's not everywhere, but is Half Price Books. They have really good deals on almost anything. You just never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can walk in there and find some really nice stuff for a very reasonable price. But just used bookstores in general.
Yeah.
I go to a bunch of used bookstores, and you can sometimes you can get lucky if you stop somewhere at a flea market or
This is where I
roadside.
find stuff a lot.
you can get lucky on those sometimes and find good stuff. But the best tip I could ever say for manga collecting, and I guess it would apply to all collecting, is patience. When you want,
don't just go on eBay.
You can even get some good stuff on eBay, but you have to be patient.
Yeah.
Because the first one you're going to find is always going to be really expensive. But if you just keep holding out, you can get. I mean, normally I do it especially for the more expensive ones, but I can often get it for half the price that most people are trying to sell it for, because you just have to wait for the person to sell it. That usually what I look for is somebody who doesn't know what it is. That's the best person to buy from.
Yeah, same thing with collecting video games and stuff. You want to buy it from the old grandma who has had it in her attic, not from the 14-year-old who got it for Christmas.
This is I don't even know what this is. This is just some random one I picked up from somebody for like $2. And it's a full Japanese manga from like the
it looks
80s?
old, yeah.
70s maybe.
It's very yellowed.
And he was a pen pal, whoever this guy was a pen pal with someone in Japan. And they sent this to him. And now he sold it 30 years later for whatever reason. But so I got it from him for like $1.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it says, and it might not be rare at all, but it's just cool to have. That's
pretty cool.
And that's a big thing I look for. Is it something I'm going to enjoy having? Because it doesn't matter how huge your collection is or what's in it if you don't like it.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
well, that goes into my next question too. Like, of your collection, how much of it have you actually read or looked at and anything? But obviously, you can't read the Japanese ones, but the ones that are in English, like what percentage or count or whatever.
The majority of it I definitely have. There are some times when sometimes I'll just come along somebody selling it online or on Craigslist or just randomly, and I can get like a ton of them for $1 a piece. So I buy them all, but then it might be months or a year before I read them. But if I had to guess, I'd say 70-75% I've read all of it.
Yeah, I have a problem with buying like actual normal comics. These are actual comics, but you know what I mean, like American standard comics and stuff. I have a problem with having a stack of those just sitting that I just haven't read yet, just because it's hard to keep up when especially if you get a lot of stuff cheap. It's really hard to keep up with everything.
If I come along it and it's a good deal, I feel like I have to get it.
Yeah.
If it's something I want to read later, even if I don't have time to now, because that's really the hardest thing is finding time.
Yeah, full-time job and a family. It's not easy to find
it takes a
time
long
to
time
do anything for yourself. For sure.
And that and sometimes you can, because I do a lot of buying from just random used and such, I get random volumes pretty often. So sometimes I'll have volume 1 and then 3, 4, and 5. So I wait until I get volume 2.
The whole series, yeah.
And so that puts some of them back. That's what's holding me up on a few of them that I want to read, but I just haven't gotten around to getting the last volumes or 2 that I need.
I remember back when you used to collect Wolverine comics, that was a big thing. You had to wait until you had all the individual parts in a series before you would read any of them.
Well, because I get too hooked on them. I gotta keep reading.
Yeah.
I can't say just reading one.
You
You just read one and then you gotta know what's going on.
Yeah. Like I mentioned before, I do quite a bit of hunting for Adam. When I find stuff, I usually buy it. But there is a specific there's a specific set of stuff in here, and they're going to be in, throughout the video overlay stuff we're doing on this. There's a lot of Dragon Ball Z figures, and I used to be, that's kind of my extent of knowledge about anime and manga is Dragon Ball Z. I used to be a freaking huge fan. So a good 90% of the Dragon Ball Z action figures that are in there were mine, and I donated them to the collection as a, so, yeah. A lot of those big you've seen throughout the video were mine at one point, and I didn't have any room for them, so they
speaking
went
of
to a better place.
Dragon Ball, a good thing to know if you're collecting it, the manga version, the Dragon Ball, the original series, you want to try to get the first edition. After the first edition, they started editing things.
Oh yeah.
I don't know exactly what they edited, but
Probably
some things are
some
edited.
blood here, a Bulma boob somewhere.
Probably. That's what I assumed was probably
bloody nose,
Bulma.
bloody nose Roshi with panties on his head or something. I don't know.
So you want to try to get first editions of at least the Dragon Ball. Z, I don't think it matters.
Yeah. Well, we have a guest star join us here. Thanks for letting me come into your room and videotape crap and get in your way. We're also gonna do a contest little thingy. Anybody that subscribes to my channel after you watch this video, just comment on this video that you subscribed, and we're gonna do a little contest. I don't have everything for it yet. I think I'm gonna add some more stuff to it, and I don't know how long it's gonna run. So I'll post a video when we do, decide to pick a winner or whatever. We'll just do a random drawing of anybody that commented on it. Right now, I have this. Actually, I just got the other day. It's Death Note number 10, volume 10, or whatever it's called. This is something that Adam gave me that I read and enjoyed, but now I'm passing it along. Knights of the Zodiac volume 1, and then Xenosaga 1 and 2. This is a reprint case that I made, but it's the Japanese Xenosaga 1 and 2 on the DS. But like I said, I'm gonna try to find some more stuff, thrift some more stuff to add to that little pile of goodness. But yeah, just subscribe to the channel and post a comment that you subscribed, and I'll add your name to the drawing. I'll do a random number generator and draw for some goodies and send it your way. Thanks for watching. Again, Adam, thank you for letting us do this and being here. And
it'll be bigger next time.
Yeah. And thanks you guys for watching. So this is happening right now in Japan or wherever Evangelion is.
We should have already had the second impact by now. The world is already ending.
Yeah. At least we get to drive cool, big old mechs and stuff.
Yeah. They turn into monsters and eat you or something. They're crazy.
Or something.
Or something. A little more complex. We can have an Evangelion discussion.
That's not. I would be lost.
It'd be pretty one-sided.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I watched that show before. Tempted to play ROM of the game.